Hello and welcome to another episode of Explorers of Elsewhere's Elysia Rising campaign. Hi!
Hello.
Hello.
How are we all doing?
Good.
Right. All right.
Wonderful. Marvellous. Yeah, it's good that you're good because things are good in the world of Elysia. Within
Are
reason.
they?
Within reason.
I know we absolutely smashed it last time. You know,
Yeah.
we
No
Got
knocked
lots
out
of
the
cool
park.
stuff.
Yeah.
No lingeries, you hauled ass with your booty, and yeah, you managed to stick it to Cavern's rival, sort of, maybe we'll yet to see. Yeah,
And uncovered a murder cult. Yay.
you covered a murder cult.
Yay.
Algernon made some friends in high places. Yes, it was fun for all. I'm really intrigued to see what you do with your ill-gotten gains. So who fancies diving straight in?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Marvelous. Right, let's go.
Welcome to Elysia, the jewel of the north. On our gilded streets, fortune and fame can be found by anyone.
Hi, I'm Julia, and I'm playing Magpie, an ace of our lurk.
Hi, I'm Nate, and I'm playing Cavern, a dragon-scent slide.
Hi, I'm Meg. I'm playing Frida, a wolfkin cutter.
Hi, I'm JC, and I'll be playing Algernon, an ace of our spider.
Hello, I'm Errol. I am playing Atta, a goblin whisperer.
And my name is DM Dan. I will be the games master on this adventure.
So come on in and marvel at our wonders. Make sure you see the beautiful views we have to offer, and don't mind the ghosts. They're friendly, really. Grab yourselves a seat and make yourselves welcome in the city of Elysia.
During the War of Divinity, Elysia exerted her power through her manufacture and military prowess. Clad in tabards dedicated to Aya, Elysia's might was clear for all to see. But in the wake of the eschaton, there is no war that can be won with bold displays or deeds of gallantry. Those who seek victory nowadays find themselves embroiled in a battle of shadowy subterfuge. Deception, misdirection, and hidden knowledge are the weapons of such a conflict. Even before Tavarian's death, the factions of Elysia attempted to outmaneuver and depower one another through clandestine operations and backhanded actions, all whilst presenting a front of unity. Now the peace has been broken, some find that the need for subtlety has become redundant, whilst others still relish in the thrill of secrecy as they move towards their goals. And so, we find you five, as the sounds of the wheels clattering over the cobblestones accompany your kind of footsteps and your furtive glances over your shoulders to make sure you got away clean. The cart crosses the leftmost bridge over the river from one side of Rookridge to the other, and you continue north to Duskland. You take a left past the small kind of abandoned shrine that Dorothea met with you less than a day ago, and cross over the bridge. Cross over the bridge into Spire Park. Managing to avoid kind of too many gazes from the guards, you head north up into Abbott's Gate, and as you're kind of going along, you have a chance to look through the items that you just kind of like grabbed, because a lot of you just kind of did a bit of a supermarket sweep as best you could. Who is the one doing the initial investigation? Like, who's throwing back the tarp, so to speak? And is it Atta?
Was there not an option to ride with all the loot and just like get real Scrooge McDuck with it? Like,
yes.
I
Yeah,
think.
perhaps you've been under the tarp all this time, just rifling through.
Building a big flamethrower.
Yes. Well, speaking of, yes, there are, like, along with an amount of valuable kind of objects that you'll be able to sell off. So effectively, your payment for the job, if you will. There are 8 items of note. So, Asa, are you kind of demonstrating what all of these items do, like somewhat as discreetly as you can, as you're kind of going through, like Duskland? Perhaps are you stopping off at Cadwallader?
Do we want to? Is that a safe idea? What's more or less safe for demonstrating magical
Well,
item?
it's probably more safe than in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
This is true, yeah.
If we're storing things at Cadwallader first, then that means we're not just going along and just kind of like, oh, what else have you got in the wagon? Nothing.
Just at the cathedral gates.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, if we retcon and say perhaps you've gone to Cadwallader Manor, so you've got a bit of time to yourself to truly kind of delve into these items, figure out what they do, and then figure out what you do and don't want to keep. You all know about the fire starter bellows. You saw that in the crate originally. The sword that was picked up, so it was a sheathed sword. Atta, you have a little look at that, and as you draw it, you notice that there are a number of what appear to be Wolfkin runes inscribed, like etched down the blade. The runes themselves are etched, within the etchings there's a slightly kind of darker scarlet kind of brownish color. It looks like dried blood, but you know that these are runes of power, and as you kind of peer at it and examine it, you realize that this is a bloodletting blade. It's a blade that empowers the wielder as the wielder takes more damage. And it is a weapon of honor for some Wolfkin tribes. Carrying on, did you all pick up the orb with the ghost in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the sad ghost.
The sad ghost.
Distressed.
Yeah. So you got the sad. You got the sad ghost orb. There's another orb which is slightly smaller, and this one's more because the ghost orbs are almost more in like a vial of sorts. But this small sphere fits in the palm of your hand, Atta, and as you it glows softly, and as you kind of poke it a few times, you realize that this is a sphere of sentient dictophony. And it appears to contain the sentient memories and musings of a wizard from before the war.
Stuff is so cool.
Perhaps you're a bit meh with these, but someone grabbed a pair of leather boots. They look like pretty good boots. Curiously, there is a gold stitched, there is an emblem of a golden wing on the heel of the boots, and yeah, compared to everything else, these winged boots that allow you to fly for a limited amount of time seems quite boring. Someone grabbed a pair of earrings. They look pearl earrings, and you realize that they are gossipers' earrings. Worn together, they do nothing in particular apart from look nice. But if 2 people were to wear one each, when speaking out loud, the 2 wearers can hear each other even over long distances. Someone snatched what appears to be a plain, featureless, porcelain-like mask. just with like small eye slits and a small kind of mouth hole. And you as you put it on and take it off, put it on, take it off, you're not entirely like you realize, like you can't see it for yourself, but you realize that this must be a doppelganger's mask. When you whoever wears a doppelganger's mask looks like a nondescript humanoid with no facial features. Someone snatched a brooch, just a little brooch with kind of gold fanciness around the edge of it. And as you tinker with it, it transforms into a necklace, and then transforms into a ring. And you realise this must be an all-purpose brooch that can transform into any wearable precious jewellery previously seen by the wearer. And last but not least, someone grabbed what appeared to be a large kind of brass box. And as you presumably bite your thumb, trying to figure out what it is, you poke it a couple of times, and with it unfolds, and you realise that this is a clockwork familiar. And this creature with like what is effectively kind of blinking eyes, arms and feet kind of emerge from the box, and it stands up, and it's about as tall as you 3 foot-ish, but you know that a clockwork familiar is a mechanical servitor that can perform like simple tasks. All of these are now in the items list that you can choose from. However, you know that the more you keep, the more likely it is that Dorothea will know that you've probably had your hand in the cookie jar. She doesn't know how much there was, but you know that the more you keep, the more likely she is to suspect that you're trying to pull one over on her, and that will have ramifications on Kavram. So, amongst yourselves, what are you thinking of keeping?
Got a question.
Yes.
Or rather, Frida's got a question.
Yeah.
Now, the runes on the side of that wolfkin blade,
Yes.
do they match the runes left on the piece of paper that was left with her as a baby outside of Caleb's front door?
The GM cogs are turning furiously.
The runes themselves. I mean, how? I guess you never really ever left Elysia, did you?
No, I didn't. So Frida never left Elysia, never really connected with any Wolfkin tribe, let alone her own. But when, she was left with essentially a note when she was a baby, of which, did have some Wolfkin writings on it, but she's never learned how to read them either.
Sure. There is definitely a similarity between the runes that you were left with and the runes on the blade. Are you taking a chance to glance at the bloodletting blade?
Yeah, I think if there's enough of a similarity, Frida would have been drawn towards that blade, particularly by the runes.
Yeah. So I mean, you immediately kind of acknowledge these runes, and it really kind of speaks to that more kind of like nomadic, like warrior mentality of non-city based wolfkin, like the ones who would kind of travel, who would kind of roam around, who proved to be very, very valuable warriors, like during the war. But yeah, there's certainly similarities, but they're not quite the same. But these are definitely runes of power. I suppose, if nothing else, seeing them and like knowing that, like, if I'm guessing if Atta's explaining it to you, you know that these runes give the blade the power that it has. Effectively, you end up looking at it the other way, and then you start wondering if the runes you are left with have any power.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'd say to the others, I explained that the runes are Wolfkin. I can't read them, but it's not usually Frida's style to have a sword. Much more up close with fists.
Yeah.
But I think that would be the item that would speak to her the most.
Yeah.
And if she was going to keep any of them, it would be that one.
Sure. So yeah, what are we collectively thinking? What would we like to keep? What would we be okay with handing off?
I think those were they earrings that allow two people to talk at distance. I think
Yeah,
those
the
sound
gossiper's
so
earrings.
useful.
I would,
Yeah.
I would be very interested in those.
I feel like that's the thing that sticks out to Magpie as the most useful for a gang of smugglers.
I agree.
Keeping the gossipers.
And, potentially the doppelganger's mask could be very useful for both me and Cavern.
Yeah. Okay, the all-purpose brooch
Very useful.
that can transform into any piece of valuable jewelry.
I mean, I could see that having some situational usefulness, but I can bear to part with it. What do others think?
Yeah.
Yeah. To play devil's advocate, some of you, Bob Patel, Frida, and Algernon specifically, your minds turn to the chain bearers, the fact they all wear that kind of symbol of office golden chain somewhere on their person. You realise that this can mimic one of those. A lot of you would know that there will be secret societies or some such that will have signet rings. You might be able to mimic those. Or perhaps, long lost jewelry designed to gain someone's attention, for example. Just being the devil's advocate here.
Just the
That's a
DM
good
tempting
point.
the players.
It's a beautifully thought out magic item, Dan, and thank you for this gift, but we're not keeping it.
Okay. So no all-purpose brooch. Right, let me create a new folder called The Bin.
I think
It's for Dorothea.
Yeah. Dorothea's bin.
I think the brooch, although definitely it's too subtle for Frida. Frida's not,
Okay.
not that subtle.
The bloodletting blade.
You don't want that, right?
I think from a background perspective, Frida would definitely want it.
Okay.
But
So yeah, it's effectively like a short sword.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, keeping that.
But also, if anyone has a greater case to be made for something else as part of the group, then it's more of a, what's the word? A
nice to have.
A nice to have.
I feel like we should probably keep 2 max. Was it 5 total, Dan? I don't know if I caught every one of them.
So there's 8 items.
Oh, I missed
Total.
some of them.
Yeah.
Apologies.
I've got them written down. The only
Okay.
so we're umming and ahhing as to whether we want to give away the fire starter bellows because of Algernon's visions.
Yeah.
The only thing, as much as the clockwork familiar makes Atta have puppy dog eyes, but we're going to kill this little guy.
She can only have one toy.
I know, only one toy. But the one thing that might be most useful that Atta's looking at is the ghost in the sphere that has potential wizard memories around if they've got information to do with the veil. That's the only
sphere of sentient dictophony. So for all intents and purposes, if you keep that, you will gain a new ally.
Aww.
It's like a new
How can we say
friend
no to that?
for the gang, because you'll be
Ghost
able
friend.
you'll be able to talk to the sentient memories of this wizard that created the orb. Obviously,
I'd
that
love to
means
ponder an orb.
that means the knowledge
Imagine how
is
happy
only up to a
that'll
point,
make Atta.
but the thoughts are now sentient.
Oh, that'll make Atta so happy to have a ghost wizard friend in a globe.
That basically means keeping 4, giving 4 at the moment.
So which 4 are we keeping? The earrings?
The earrings, the mask, the sword, and the wizard orb.
So we're ditching the winged boots.
As much as Catherine's probably eyeing them up, he can't put them on anyway.
The sphere of sentient dictophony we are keeping, because that's the...
Looks like it.
We're keeping the gossiper's earrings.
Yes.
We're ditching the bellows.
Much as I'm sure it's horrifying to Atta, I think we do have to.
Wow.
And we're...
Yeah. I was going to say, I think as much as Atta would like them, I think giving something that looks that powerful to Dorothea might hopefully sort of put us in her good books.
And we've taken them away from the kindling.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't know that.
No.
She thinks we've taken them away from the pillars.
Yeah, okay. And you're passing up the clockwork familiar.
Gary. Yeah, we're passing up Gary.
But we've got a wizard friend and a globe.
I know he's going to be useful, but Gary. Can you think
if it sways the conversation, I think the clockwork familiar is way cooler than like memory wizard in an orb, to be honest. So
I agree.
About the wizard.
I'm team Jerry.
Jerry, he's just a G name to every different person. But no, I guess like it's quite conspicuous as well, the clockwork familiar, if it's animated. But I was thinking Eric at the bar. Imagine a little clockwork waiter for the drinks. Anyway,
because he's a cuboid, you could just balance the drinks on a tray on his head, and he'll just. All right, okay. So we're keeping the bloodletting blade, the doppelganger's mask, the gossiper's earrings, and the sphere of sentient dictophony. Cool. Okay, so in which case you reload the things that you're kind of passing off to Dorothea. I will also state that in your riflings you have acquired 8 coin. Now, you know that Dorothea is not going to pay you for this job. But if there are no kind of loose valuables that go alongside these magical items, she might also know that you've kind of kept those for yourself. So, of that 8 coin, how much do you want to keep and how much do you want to pass off?
Should we do half and half again?
It depends, how much do we want each, or how much do we want to actually just go into the crew?
Well, we could do like 1 coin each, 1 coin for the crew, and then the rest Dorothea.
Well, only leaves 2 for Dorothea.
I'm happy enough to give my coin to Dorothea, because I know that Catherine's probably just like, I know what she's like.
I'm not bothered personally about having any coin.
Yeah.
I'd prefer that the mission went off well and that we didn't arouse suspicion.
Either that, or we give up all the coin and we have 1 extra item.
Ooh.
Because we're just like, didn't find much, but look at all this Munzo.
Oh, that's compelling.
It's a spicy
I
proposition.
don't know if it'll work.
And then we could have Cherry.
I think we need to give her at least 4. I don't like this. How about 4 items, 4 coin, and then keep 4 coin for the pot.
Yeah. So you know that the stash is currently full with 4 coin. So this would be coin that you're pocketing yourselves.
Okay then, 1 coin each and 3 for Dorothea, maybe.
Yeah.
4 objects, 3 coin.
Yes,
I'm not that fussed about the coin. Atta's not that fussed about the coin. The other thing Atta was going to suggest is if we feel nervous about how much we're giving Dorothea, maybe Atta could put the used lightning hook that they used to hook the ghost in the loot and say that we found it with the pillars. And maybe stir up some I don't know, something.
Algernon's
Yeah.
But I
really
will be
on
giving up my
Sabrina.
beloved lightning hook. My beloved. No, it's fine.
Yeah.
You can have my beloved.
Would that be worth a cute little clockwork familiar though?
It's mostly so that it's I mean, if we want to, it's up to you all, but if we want to feel like that tips the scale in the favor of Dorothea not asking questions for more, then whatever else we decide is I'm cool with.
Sure. Okay. No, that sounds reasonable. Okay, so you're chucking in the lightning hook. Okay, to then also point a finger at the pillars, as far as the faith is concerned, about what happened up in Dustry Hill the other day.
And what are we doing about the coin?
I still
4.
think 1 each and then 3 to Dorothea.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Keep her right off the back.
Okay. In which case, so yes, you reload up the cart. You head over to Abbott's Gate. So the cart comes out of the Ivory through. You'll probably be better, directly through to Spire Park and then up to Abbott's Gate. And as you're trundling it down, after you found out, like you and Catherine found out the best time to go, and it was just sort of like the evening mass kind of times when people were like off the streets, and there was that like soup kitchen type thing going on. That was a very kind of deliberate show of compassion from the children of Aya. And as you kind of come trundling along with the cart, in front of you at the end of the street, you see the towering spires of the Cathedral of Our Glorious Mother. The first kind of cathedral and central place of worship to Aya within the city of Elysia. And like the bells are kind of ringing a chorus as you approach. And Catherine, you spot Dorothea kind of off to the side, and she like wordlessly gestures you over to kind of head to the stables, if you will, at the side of the cathedral. And as you roll up with the cart, you can see her sort of like peering over, like past you to see what you've got, and then noticing there's a good few kind of crates. Well, I was expecting you to be a bit tardier with your timekeeping, Catherine.
Let's just say I'm learning some better skills nowadays.
And she like walks past you deliberately, kind of too closely. That it feels like, she gives you that real kind of peering over your shoulder kind of vibe. And she hefts herself onto the back of the cart, and just sort of like digs her claws in and like pulls the top off of one of the crates. And Frida, I think this is the first time that you've kind of been face to face with this kind of dragon scent. And like she gave you a look because she didn't really recognize you as she got into the cart.
Frida's absolutely sizing her up.
Yeah, and like there's a part of you, like that this dragon scent's kind of cracking on a bit in terms of age, but it's quite impressive to see how kind of like effortlessly she managed to prise open this crate. And like she starts just like idly kind of brushing things aside with her hand, peering at things. You see her pull out the pair of boots and just and then she just drops them in nonchalantly. And then you notice her kind of looking through the gold. It almost is like she's counting how much valuable stuff is in here. And she seems okay with it. So 4 items, 3 coins worth of valuables. 6 items. And in fact, she reaches in and pulls out this lightning lure. And you see her just sort of like looking it up and down slowly. And she turns to you, Kavrin. This. You found this in their lockhouse.
Yes. And Kavrin's gonna try his best just to not break eye contact.
And like as she's staring at you, you're staring at her. Behind you all, you hear,
well, that is a remarkable discovery, Dorothea.
And you turn, like some of you turn, and then have to look down ever so slightly, as in front of you is a female goblin, like white decoration painted across her face. She stands in gleaming alabaster armor with like pale yellow, like light yellow fabric kind of hanging off her, and clutched in one hand is this kind of ornamental staff. Atop it, what looks almost like one of the towers of the cathedral, but there's quite an intense white light that glows within and kind of shines out of what effectively look like little windows. And you all, so Kavrin, you absolutely recognize her, and anyone else who would have reason to know the clergy of the Children of Aya recognize this goblin to be High Priestess Lukraji Esof, the leader of the Church of Aya. And therefore the faith. And this goblin kind of looks to you all in turn, and there's this scrutinizing look upon her face, but then she returns her gaze to Dorothea as the dragon scent kind of jumps out the wagon, like jumps off the back of the cart.
A remarkable discovery indeed,
she repeats.
Have all of this contraband moved to the vaults. The sooner we get these dangerous artifacts off the streets of Elysia, the better.
And Dorothea closes her eyes, bows her head low, does a bow herself, and you see the clerics and the clergy begin to kind of move the crate off and empty off this cart. And Dorothea just kind of stands behind Lukraji, holding this lightning lure, looking at you, Kavrin, with this kind of smug, I made you do this look. And then Lukraji slowly turns to look up to Dorothea and...
As you were.
And Dorothea just, oh, of course, High Priestess. And she kind of awkwardly scurries off, carrying this lure to catch up to the clerics.
It would appear you have my facts. I apologize. I didn't catch your names.
She looks at you. The silence deafening.
My name is Kavrin. I used to work here, but not anymore.
Yes. How you've grown, Kavrin.
And the rest of you, do you give her real names, fake names, no names?
I have a fine and already established cover identity as part of my spider loadout.
Wonderful, wonderful.
It's Terence Kinghead, a military veteran.
Terence Kinghead, okay. So you give your alias Magpie. Are you giving your?
I'm giving Maggie.
Maggie, okay.
Yeah.
Atta.
I think Atta hesitates. She's got an idea of a name, but then just gives her an own name. Just goes Atta.
Okay. And lastly, Frida.
Frida specifically will cross her arms and sort of mutter Frida through gritted teeth in almost a little bit of an obstinate way, like, you know, it doesn't matter that I'm giving you my name, because good luck trying to use it against me. Sure.
Okay, so in which cases some of you give your real names, some of you give your aliases. High Priestess Lukraji nods once again. And it's a gentle but powerful look, like energy that comes off her. And then she says,
"The cathedral is open to anyone who would welcome Aya's light into their hearts. Anyone."
It's open to anyone. And I sort of make eye contact with her, showing her the red of my eyes.
And Lukraji, you see her, like, she holds your gaze, and then there's an ever so slight lick of the lips and like a bite on the bottom lip.
Everyone. So if you ever feel lost, you are welcome into our mother's warm embrace.
And she closes her eyes. You see her do like a little kind of prayer, and then without a further word, she turns and leaves to head back into the cathedral. So you find yourselves in Abbott's Gate. Where are you heading now? You've got so you come away with 5 coin. Actually, let's do, well, yeah, I presume you're leaving Abbott's Gate rather than staying here with all the churchgoers. Okay.
Get some soup to go.
Yeah, yes. So I reckon as this mission is finished, let's really quickly fly through the XP that we all earned. So let's start with Atta. So how much XP do you think you earned?
I think it's a 3. I did quite a lot of spooky arcane stuff.
Yes.
And some, I believe I used Tinker a lot. Which is pretty on brand for the arcane tinkerer type person. When I was talking to the ladies in the sewing alley, so I'm gonna say 3, please.
Okay. Nice. Wonderful. Yeah, that sounds good. Cavern.
Also gonna go with a bit of a 3. Did a couple of deceiving, sort of like trying, even though failing, to try and find out where Caleb was, and also deceiving the lady in the bakery, and then also duping over the Faith a little bit and taking some of their stuff which they thought was theirs. I'm gonna go with a 3.
Amazing. Okay, Algernon.
I'm gonna go with a 3 as well.
Yeah.
I think I was conspiring with old Eldermerce and expressing my belief and drives in the fact of refusing to be blackmailed by various people on all sides a couple of times.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. Okay, so 3 for Algernon. And for Magpie?
Magpie did quite a lot of her sneaky approach in the mission, and also I think she expressed her background a fair bit, being concerned for and asking after her old friend Samuel, and being horrified at Caleb's dodgy dealings and wanting to strike out against him. Happy with 3. I mean, I'll take 4 if I can get it.
That sounds a 4. Yeah, I think it sounds more like 4.
Cheers.
Cool. And Frida?
Again, a solid 3 from me for trying to coerce the creepy murder cult lady. And then I did quite a bit of background stuff, sort of exploring my background, but also exploring the relationship between myself and my rival.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I'll do that. So 3, did you say?
3.
Okay,
3
marvelous.
Indeed.
So yeah,
now
there weren't
we've got to
any.
decide where it goes as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
There weren't any desperate actions, so yeah, it's just purely based off of your your playbooks and your actions. But no, that all sounds legit. The crew XP, right? So let's all together go through this. So, did you successfully execute a? Did you execute a successful smuggling or? Yes, you did. I would argue. You went in,
Yes.
you achieved stuff, and you smuggled it through town.
Yes.
So that's a yes. Did you contend with challenges above your current station? Yes, because the Hollow, as it turns out, and the Pillars, to be fair, are both higher tier than you. Did you bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one? I feel like we're in a position where we need to start talking about a new adjective for this crew, because we chose savvy once upon a time. I think what adjectives do we? Let's
do we have a list?
Uh,
See, we chose savvy before we'd actually started playing and
This is very
inhabiting
true.
these characters.
Okay, so choose initial reputation. So there's ambitious, honourable, subtle, brutal, professional, strange, daring, or savvy. I'm feeling like we're veering closer towards ambitious or daring. Who raise your hand if you think yourselves more ambitious, or raise your hand if you feel you're more daring.
Are you sure we can't go for strange?
Sure, we can't go for chuckleheads.
I'm just wondering whether, we'd also fit quite professional, because, I think we have acted with professionality.
So professional.
We pulled a ghost through the veil.
Pulling a ghost through the veil and pivoting and
the pillars pulled
stealing from the wrong people.
Yeah, I think the things that you have done have been quite bold.
Alright,
Yeah,
daring
bold.
it is then.
Their execution.
Daring, maybe.
Okay, so say daring, bold. We'll go with daring. Okay, so you are now daring, so that is an XP.
Great.
It's up to 3. Express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew. So you are arcane smugglers. You are. Would you say what would we say are the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew? Like, if we were to paraphrase.
Well, as a crew, we don't seem to like the church very much, so effectively we've pulled the wool over the church's eyes on this one.
Well, I'll take that, and there's a part of me that might kind of turn it ever so slightly, in the sense that you took on this job knowing that Catherine's kind of safety was at stake, and that everything was done to try and make sure that Catherine was okay.
Yeah.
Whilst at the same time, when you found out about the whole Caleb naughty link for Frida, like everyone was kind of piling in to help Frida out. So I guess you've all
you know
kind of
who
got
we
a
are,
chance
don't
to-
you? We're the Fast and Furious family.
Fast and
You know?
Furious.
That's very weird. That's not who we are, though. They're all about, family first
Family.
and loyalty to
Family.
one of the family.
I knew we were going to end up as Fleming Fast and Furious criminals with a heart of gold.
Yeah.
Oh, Nate, that could be the name
I'm
of the
Vin
Dagger Heart
Diesel.
group, Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
Okay,
It is
so
Vin Diesel, isn't it? I've never
Yeah.
seen Fast and Furious.
Oh, don't worry, we'll watch it together.
Oh, no.
So that's 4 XP, which
Wow. Are we leveling up the crew?
levels up the crew.
What does that
Yay.
mean? What does that mean?
That will get dealt with in a later bit. Okay, so everyone's at XP. Congratulations!
Hooray.
Hooray for you! Okay, so we carry on with the downside process. So the payoff: you receive 3 rep base. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so your reps ticked up. The target of your score was a higher tier than you, so I would argue the target of the score was, in the end, actually ended up being the Children of Ire, rather than, like, more so than anyone else. Like, you were aiming at the Hollow, but it was all to kind of screw with it. And the Children of Ire are a tier 4. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4 tiers higher than you.
Oh,
So that's
boy.
another 4 rep. Yeah, you are. This is a big score.
Could you also argue we're screwing over the pillars because of Atta's brilliant lightning rod idea?
That's just a
It's a happy byproduct, I'd say.
Yeah. Okay, so that's it. So you get 7 rep in total for doing this score, which puts you back up to 6 of 12. So
Cool.
you will be able to expand your turf, and the crew XP means that you'll get like a new ability, but again we'll discuss that kind of off camera. You've kept your 5 coin, so we'll just call that. Heat. So you're currently on 6 of 9 heat.
Oops.
We gotta get down that heat.
Wait a minute. I think we're about to get more, right?
We're about to get more.
Potentially.
Now, I would argue that this was a smooth and quiet operation. Because you got in and out without anyone, like, getting angry.
Yeah.
No punching for Frida.
No
sad
punching for
face.
Frida. That is 0 heat. Add 1 heat for a high-profile or well-connected target.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, this
That's
will
nice.
focus. This
Pretty
will
big.
focus on the hollow, because that was actually the target of the job that you did in that sense. But the hollow, I would argue, and Caleb McNulty aren't high profile or well connected. Very much
Okay.
not the case, because they're obviously clandestine. They're trying to keep things secret, right? So there's no heat there. It did happen on hostile turf.
Yes.
Plus 1 heat.
Okay.
Add 1 heat if you're at war, which you're not. Add 2 heat if killing was involved, whether the crew did the killing or not.
Nope.
No. You gain 1 heat total.
Way.
You are now at 7 of 9.
Phew. Okay. We can do this, people.
So, you do not have a wanted level. I will move on to generate an entanglement.
That's not a good face.
There's no good entanglements though.
No, that's true.
Okay.
It's the we all go and pet puppies entanglement.
Yay!
Yay!
And then punch him in the face.
No!
Okay. So, what do you do in the immediate aftermath after handing items off to the faith?
The Spectre?
Stiff drinks all round, I think.
Stiff drinks
Once
all
again.
round.
Okay.
Yeah. Go and decompress at the Spectre.
So, you all begin heading back through the streets, like through Spire Park, to Duskland. And as you head down that main road past the abandoned shrine, and you turn left onto the street that will lead to the very familiar archway, from out of the shadows, like alleyways from either side, a group of 5 City Watch emerge. In Cavern, you recognize the sergeant leading this group as the one that accosted you in Celestry.
Do we still have the little cart? Can I hide in it?
Arguably, you've got... Well, effectively, as you've kind of come round the corner in the cart, they've just kind of like three of them.
I've not had a chance.
Yeah, 3 of them have stepped in front of you, and 2 of them step in behind you. They surround you.
Yeah.
Great.
I'm assuming none of the rest of us know this. That.
Nope.
For a fist fight.
Okay.
And the sergeant, like, you notice it's odd that these watch seem to be wearing, like, 'cause all the watch on their uniforms, they wear different kind of ribbon, like colour ribbons to denote which district they're a part of. And you notice that they're wearing the sort of like the musky, the musty pink of Celestry. But yeah, this sergeant steps out and, well, we meet again, Catherine. I told you it wouldn't be the last time you saw me. No funny business. And he pulls out a parchment. And for those of you close enough, you notice that the wax seal holding it tight bears the crest of the magistrate's office. This here...
I just want you to know he's not taking any love letters right now. He's got enough. He's got enough admirers, thanks. Just step back, right?
Where he's going, love, there's lots of love to go round. This is one freshly obtained warrant of arrest.
Not again.
We can do this the easy way or the hard way, and we've all had very long days, so if you don't mind, Catherine, we want you to come quietly. So, there is a gang of City Watch. He's holding the warrant. The sergeant's holding the warrant in one hand. What do you do in this immediate moment, Catherine?
And can I ask what this warrant is about?
It's a warrant for your arrest for public indecency.
Public indecency? That's the best you can get him on? Public indecency?
I think you'll find that I'm very decent in public.
So, yes, you can either hand yourself over. You all know, because this is the watch, that they can be paid off. In which case, they'll make an excuse, they'll arrest someone else, whatever, but you won't go away. Or you give them a fall guy. Someone else gets arrested. But it has to be someone that, in inverted commas, will willingly go.
Right, either way, you're not going with him, Catherine.
Or you can try to evade capture, but you realise you're...
Punch him.
Punch them.
Intimidate them till they leave us alone.
Alright, do you know what?
Any children of Ire to save you this time, Catherine.
Frida has been raring for a fight since for a long time. No. So Frida's gonna step forward and take that warrant out of the City Watcher's hand, and just while staring into his eyes, just tear it into tiny little pieces, and just scatter them on the floor, a bit like Salt Bay, you know, just like that. And then she's gonna reach her hand slowly and delicately into her pocket and pull out her knuckle duster and just sort of slide it lovingly onto her hand.
Blimey.
And then she's going to smile very sweetly at this sergeant and say, I think it's a little bit past your bedtime.
The sergeant looks a bit shocked as you do this.
Oh boy.
And then there's a ever so slight turn of the lip into a smirk. And there's a face that looks back at you that says, thank you. And Magpie and Algernon and Atta, you notice that the watch from behind you, like, unholster the cudgels and maces from their belts from behind you, and they begin approaching you, and you know that, like, you are resisting arrest, and they are authorized to do whatever needs be. So,
oh no.
As the watch begin approaching you, and you know they're just going to start going ham, Frida, you're at the forefront of this. What do you do?
Okay, so first off, I'm going to push myself to do my ability, which is not to be trifled with. So I can push myself to do one of the following: perform a feat of physical force that verges on the superhuman, or engage a small gang on equal footing in close combat. Okay. So it's only a small squad, so basically you can, like, 1v5, not to be trifled with, literally 1v5 by them in exchange for 2 stress. Perfect.
So if you pop your stress on,
get your stress on.
And you can also like, you can choose extra dice or extra effect, because you're attacking. You're not to be trifled with your effect. You're currently at, like, risky standard. Like, you're just dead level because you're currently the same tier, like tier 0. Is anyone else jumping in on this? Like, are you making this a group scrap, or is anyone doing the help action to jump in? Algernon, are you foresighting this?
Yeah.
Blimey.
I think I will use my foresight to assist.
Whack him with your cane.
Okay. What does your foresight, like? Are you just having like vision quivering, just seeing a few seconds into the future to shout out, like duck, dive, left hook? Are you kind of Robert Downey Jr.ing, like Sherlock, like just piecing it out?
It's kind of like that. So I have a little snuff box which has some of the pure foresight mineral inside of
it. Okay, so you huff some foresight?
Yeah.
And is it Frida you're aiding, sorry?
It's Frida I'm aiding, so I'm going to sort of, before Sergeant What's-His-Face takes a swing, I'm going to telegraph his attacks to her.
Okay, amazing.
Thank you, Algernon.
Is anyone else jumping in on this?
I'm probably going to attempt to help. Does it cost stress to help someone else?
So it's 1 stress. Frida will get like an extra die or an extra effect, but then like you'll share the consequences.
Because my thought was that Magpie would probably attempt to sort of use her prowl a little bit, so kind of stay out of the way, maybe duck into the shade of a nearby alley or something, and choose a perfect moment to do a sort of clock on the back of the head or something.
Sure. Well, what I should...
While Frida's scrapping with them.
Well, what will make infinitely more sense right now is that there's 5 of them, so let's say 6 o'clock.
Blimey.
So the watch, we'll call it the watch.
Okay.
This clock is fundamentally their resolve to stay in the fight. So you can, if you wanted to prowl, you could kind of duck away and then do your own action to do something. If you're aiding, if you're helping Frida, then it's just 1 stress for 1 dice.
Can more than one person give a help?
I can't see why not. And I feel like if Frida's just kind of like brought her fists up as she's like in slow motion about to sock this sergeant in the jaw, and like Algernon's just been like, the left knee, and then like there's nothing stopping Atta helping by just like leaping at someone to hold them in place, kind of thing. Versus say, for example, Magpie maybe just like slipping into the shadow and then jumping out and doing her own thing in a second.
Cavern he's actually gonna whip off his jacket, and he's gonna use that to sort of go tie around the guard to sort of hold their arms back.
Okay, so is that a help action?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, Frida, you've got 2 help actions.
Yay!
Yeah, I'm gonna prowl and then possibly do my own thing.
Cool. So that'll happen after Frida's action. Atta?
Yeah.
I'm only 2 stress away from trauma, so I'm happy to help if we think it's going to turn the tides.
I mean, if Atta wants to hold fire and just be like, watching all this carnage just explode around her, and then if you want to jump in later.
There with the popcorn.
Atta's got one of her like wreck explosive devices like at the ready, but it's like, I just really want to talk to a ghost.
Sure.
Thinking.
Okay. So it sounds like Frida, you've pushed yourself and you've got 2 helps.
Oh boy.
So that translates into 3 dice and/or effects. So you're starting a risky standard. What are you bumping up?
I'm guessing. Well, it's skirmish.
Okay. Yeah.
So let's do it. Let's do a skirmish. And yeah, I'm going straight for the sergeant with the scary weapon or tool. So those are my signature knuckle dusters. So this item grants increased effect when you intimidate. Not increased harm in combat.
Yeah, so it's just.
Oh, okay, it's when you're intimidated. Never mind then. Okay, well we're still punching with the knuckle dusters on. So oh Christ, what was it? Risky.
So it's risky standard. So you can bump it up to risky greater for 1.
Risky greater.
And then you can have an extra 2 dice from the other 2 helps.
Oh, let's do that then.
So that's 4 dice. Take the highest.
Oh, it's plus 4 dice.
No, 4 dice total.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, because my skirmish is 2. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Right. Let's hope it goes well.
Okay.
It's okay. It's all right.
Success. Okay. So
Middle of the road.
So in the blink of an eye, like you size up to this sergeant, you've pulled on the knuckle duster, he's looked at you and he's got that smile that says thank you. And like in inverted commas, you almost feel like time slow down. You can hear the sounds of the footsteps of the watch, like stepping in from behind. You can hear the clip of clasps as they kind of unholster their maces. And the sergeant in front of you like takes a step back to like raise his cudgel above his head, but before he's brought his arm up, your fist is connected with his jaw. And you see the skin muscle ripple across his face and you feel something crack under the blow as you and he's sent sprawling. He hits the ground and sort of like skids along a little bit and just stops moving. So a partial success. So that is, but it's greater. So that is 2, 3. Say 3. So that's 3 on the clock. Like you take out the sergeant, as the watch to the sergeant's side just kind of and sort of like scrambles to like unsheath, like unholster the crossbow. You've already come up and aided by Algernon. And at Algernon's warning, you get an uppercut to the bottom of the chin, and like this guard just spends a few seconds suspended in the air as you lift him up. As that happens, you feel a crack over the back of your head. That will be, I'm gonna say level 2 harm. No, yes, level 2 harm. It's risky. So you've got like a heavy truncheon blow to the back of the head. Will deal you 2 harm unless you resist it.
Oh, how does harm work on this again? It's been so long since we got into a fight.
If you take level 2 harm, so it will be cracked skull.
Okay.
So if you notice, I put cracked skull on your character sheet.
Yep, I see.
So that means while you are suffering from the cracked skull, you take -1 dice to anything that involves your head.
Okay.
So for me, I'm going to argue that's going to be like fighting, vision, anything like that, because you're just a bit woozy.
Yeah.
If you resist it, then the level 2 harm is reduced to a level 1 harm. So it might just be like bruised head.
Yeah. Can I try and resist it by sort of like grabbing that cudgel as it comes down?
Yes, you can. So if you're resisting that, please roll me. Now bear in mind, you are on 6 stress. You have 3 left.
Fine. It'll be fine, Dan.
So if you're looking to resist,
Yeah.
if you don't roll a 4 or more,
yeah,
you will become traumatized.
How many dice? How many dice do you get for this, Meg?
1.
Yeah. Wait.
Prowess. Okay, we're gonna give it a go.
Oh, blimey.
Ooh. So +1 die, did you say?
No, it's 1 die total.
Oh, okay, 1
so
die
if you
total.
click on prowess, it's 1 die total. You need a 4 or more to avoid trauma.
This is risky, isn't it?
Oh, blimey.
Or you accept the cracked skull.
I mean, that's an option.
And then sleep it off. Well, not sleep it off, but you know.
It's an option.
I suppose I can't choose to like accept the cracked skull if I get a bad roll though. What the roll is?
If you try to resist,
roll,
you
right?
will suffer the stress.
Sure thing. Okay.
You're going
We're
ahead
doing
for it. Oh my god.
You roll a 5, you only suffer 1 stress.
Woo!
Okay.
She's a machine.
So I'm going to argue actually this truncheon like swings down, hits you on the back of the head, and there's a squeak of surprise as the truncheon like snaps into. You know how like in like James Bond movies when he hits something like the henchman and the weapon just breaks, and there's a moment where you turn and look at this city watch that's just got this stub of a stick, like a handle, and just
Frida has a manic grin on her face and just says, "All right, boyo, now we're talking." Okay. So that's all happening. Magpie, you're slinking back into the shadows.
What I'd like to do, if I may, is attempt to use my finesse to sort of maneuver behind the guy who just smacked Frida in the back of the head and essentially trip him up. Do a sort of sweep of the legs.
Okay.
Ooh, nice.
So I'm going to say that this is a risky lesser because they are still operating as a gang currently.
Okay.
So
it might be 1 segment or something if I succeed.
Yes. Yeah.
What if I partially succeed?
So it's like we still look at your. I mean, this just dictates how. So it's risky lesser. So what you achieve will just be slightly lower because you're effectively striking out against.
Oh, okay. We can do that, or I could push myself to get a greater effect, right?
Correct.
Blah 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 blah. I think I'll just do it as is. I get 2 dice for this. I'll just take the lesser effect because I don't want more stress right now.
Okay.
Sorry. Let's see. Finesse. Is that okay if I use that?
Yep.
Go. 6.
You do it.
Did it.
Okay, so
Did it.
On a 6, it's lesser, so that's 2 segments rather than 3.
Hooray.
So yeah, you sweep in, and as you see as Frida sort of like like grinning like an idiot, and as you kind of creep up behind the guard, I'm guessing maybe you do that trick where you like crouch down so he trips over you. Like, as you take his legs out, you hear Frida's fist connect with his forehead, and as this guy's like legs come out from underneath him, you just hear the clonk as he first takes a fist to the front of the skull and then the back of his skull hitting the cobblestones behind you. And he just like he folds in over himself and just like sprawls out like ragdoll physics style.
Okay, thank you.
Atta. You're the only one that's arguably not gone.
Bring it home, Atta.
Like 3 of them are just out for the count, and you can see that there's two like guard left, but like they both look quite stunned.
I I feel like Atta at this moment doesn't necessarily trust that her wreck is going to help here, because it's like quite close quarters. I think she wants to try and use a tune to try and do something ooky spooky. I'm trying to think of what, because she's like, fuck, I don't have my account. Well,
I mean, there's a magic sword nearby.
There is, yeah. Oh, could I? Oh, wow. Okay, like, no, didn't Frida. I'm sorry. I'm gonna. I think Atta sees the sword and like has noticed all the runes because she was pointing them out to Frida, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna be strong on Frida, and then it's gonna try and like, I guess like attune, activate like these runes and kind of come at. Like try and unleash the magic in this sword, but like
sure.
I don't know what that will be from a Wolfkin.
So in this moment, I'm gonna argue you absolutely use a tune. It's going to have like a lesser effect.
Okay.
But yeah, if this goes off, we'll see. Okay.
Like maybe because it's bloodletting, maybe it gets all like The Shining for a moment and blood pours out of windows and doors. Who knows what happens? Yeah. Anyway, it's an attune roll, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Risky lesser limited?
Risky limited, yeah.
Risky limited. And pardon, I should know this by now. It's how much it's too stressed to do any extra dice, isn't it? So I can't
push, yes. So
yeah,
I would not do that.
No. Let's see what happens. Oh god, it's not good.
Okay. You sort of like dive into the cart, and as you pull this sword and you're like, yeah, and as you hold it and you're focusing so hard on making it like do what, like, is it gonna glow, is it gonna like grow massive, is it gonna, and then it takes you a while to realize that like the sword still has the sheath on.
Oh.
And you're just like holding this sheathed sword at this guard, and the guard, like, she looks at you and just smacks you about the side of the head with a truncheon. So that's also going to be level 2 unless you want to resist. You are rugged.
Yeah.
So you may expend your special armor to add 1 dice to a prowess resistance roll.
This would be prowess because it's like some kind of
physical. Yeah. So you get to roll 2 dice.
Okay, and it's just 1 stress to resist, isn't it?
No, it's 6 minus whatever you roll. So on your 2 dice, you'd need to roll 5 or more.
Oh, good grief!
To avoid trauma, or you take. Yeah.
What's the recovery from injuries like? Is it just it takes all of your downtime off?
Downtime, yeah.
Takes all of your downtime.
Okay. Well, can you not do anything else on your downtime?
It is so as a downtime you can recover, which you seek treatment and heal your harm. You might visit a physician. Recovery is like a long-term project. So you have segments when you fill up your heal clock, you lower your segment.
Oh, blimey.
Okay, well, sure. Well, in the words of Frida, why trauma is character building. Why not? Somebody's got to rip the band-aid off and get some trauma. Come on, it's session 6. Why not?
I was going to say the other alternative is there's like an action to protect a teammate. Is that something we can do in combat?
Yes.
Specifically, is that something I could do for?
Yeah, and that means that Frida, you would come barreling in and just take the blow yourself. But
okay.
I think that is also stress to do that. Let me just check.
Depending on how much trauma it takes, it might be just like, I mean, the same effect for a different person. Because I'm on 2. I've got two left.
Yeah.
Before I'm all traumatized anyway.
I was going to say, I can if Cavern can do it instead.
Well, so protect. You step into face a consequence that one of your teammates would otherwise face. You suffer it instead of them. You may roll to resist as normal. Describe how you intervene.
Oh,
That
okay.
might be.
Okay.
So if anyone else wants to jump in the way.
I'd like to jump in the way.
Okay. In which case, Atta, as you sort of like you're stood there frozen on the spot, just watching as this city watch like raises like a flanged mace above her head, and as this mace comes down, Atta, you are shoved from the side, and Cavern, this mace connects with your shoulder. It's gonna, I'm gonna say it's gonna like dislocate your arm.
Okay, can I roll to resist?
You can.
Okay, what do I need to roll?
So it's a prowess resist. So you're a 2 dice on that.
While Cavern's rolling, Frida is very proud of you, Atta.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh,
only
that's
one
one
stress
stress.
for
Oh,
Cavern.
Very,
And
very
you
good.
get. I'm gonna put bonked arm, and I'm gonna figure out how bonked it is in a second. Okay, so yeah, this mace like connects with your shoulder, and you as you push Atta out the way, and Atta, you come out, go sprawling. Whilst Cavern's down on the ground, Algernon will move to you. Is there anything you're actively doing, or?
Yeah, how many of the guards are still up and active?
So there's 2. One has just kind of knocked Cavern to the ground. The other is the one that's kind of like still looking at the sergeant, a bit shell shocked, like a bit surprised, because this relatively young looking city watch just watched this Wolfkin woman just take out 3 grown watch in a matter of moments.
Whew.
Cool, I'm gonna absolutely go to hit him, the youngster.
Yep.
Is this the first time you've used your cudgel boy in violence?
The young watch looks to you and sort of like starts like waving the cudgel, like swinging it backwards and forwards as if trying to like ward you away, and like one hand's just flapping above his head. It's like he's fencing with a mace.
If you don't like your job, I'd be happy to take it away from you.
Okay, what's this? What's this you're rolling out against him?
I think I'm going to try command.
Emotional
Okay.
devastation.
Fucking love it.
Okay, so this kid is papping himself. So I'm just going to say risky standard for this. Because they are the morale is teetering.
Can I use my infallible ability to add +1 effect level?
You
We only
absolutely
need the one
can.
segment, but
You absolutely can. But
I mean, I've not done it yet.
Yes. Okay, so this is a risky greater now.
Mm-hmm. And I failed.
Oh no!
So a complication occurs. The complication I'm gonna say is like as you talk at this young city watch, and he and as he's staggering away, like he's warding you off, and he kind of trips over the sergeant. But in doing so, the back of the heel kind of hits the sergeant in the face, and as this kid goes sprawling, the sergeant just kind of and slowly starts to come to, and like you can his face is beginning to puff from where Frida hooked him. But I'm going to reduce the clock by 1 second.
Oh
As
no!
the sergeant slowly picks himself up. That will be the complication.
Oh, blimey.
Cavern, you are you've just been kind of knocked to the floor as you're looking up. What are you doing?
I think seeing the sergeant start waking up again.
Yeah. He stood up and said, "You!" He says, pointed at you.
I'm going to use finesse, I think, to try and attack him with my coat again and try and get him back down.
Sure.
Try and pin him down so Frida can go at him.
Okay. So I will say in this moment, because effectively it's still a gang, so it would be risky lesser.
Right.
But because of your bonked arm, like your arm's gone dead, you get another stage of less effect. So currently it's risky, no effect.
Right.
So you'll need to find somewhere to get the dice to push it back up.
Can I push myself?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. That's just one stress, isn't it, to push yourself?
2.
2. Didn't need more foot rubs.
You do have emerging divinity, so you can automatically pass a roll, but accrue an additional 2 heat.
So if I put them in 2 heat, that's not going to put us into wanted. We're just going to be at the... It is going to put us into wanted. Okay.
No! I mean, if anything's going to make us wanted, it's beating up 5 City Watch in the street.
Yeah, it's good fun though.
Reader's loving it.
I will just push myself then, and I will go with a finesse. So that is risky. No,
Risky lesser if you're doing it on 1 dice.
so risky limited. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no!
Oh, we're having some bad rolls.
Okay, so
blimey.
you sort of like run, like you stand up and your arm's a bit dead, and as you run at this sergeant, and you go to sort of like one-handedly get the coat over, but you kind of, in doing so, you kind of knock yourself off balance a little bit, and as you lean forward, this sergeant effectively takes a step back and then just like gets you in a headlock. Hasn't got his cudgel, and then he just sort of starts to sort of like punching you in the sides of the ribs. I'm gonna say that's level 2 harm, cracked ribs. Unless you want to resist.
I fear resisting. Actually, no, I am going to resist. Yeah, I'm going to resist.
Catherine!
It's a 2 dice.
How much stress have you got left?
2.
2.
So you need a 5 or 6 on 2
Prowess.
dice.
In the 2 stress gang. Oh, well done.
Okay, so
Very
you just
good.
get bruised ribs instead, as this this sergeant just like pummeling you in the side. Okay, right, Frida.
Hello.
You take stock. Like Magpie's squatting on the ground in front of you, having just tripped over the guy you punched in the forehead. The sergeant that you knocked out has woken up and has now got Cavern in a headlock. Atta's been sprawled out, like knocked out the way because she was waving a sheathed sword at someone. Algernon's sort of like shouting at this young youth that's like trying to crawl away in terror. What do you do? I love how narratively, like, this is a polar opposite to D&D combat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, this is true.
Is it still too late to change us to chuckleheads for our crew?
I thought you were going to say, is it still too late to pay them off?
Some coins at them.
Yeah.
I mean, Frida is, I think, at this point, is just running on pure adrenaline. Pure, like, bloodlust infused adrenaline. How many are up? It's the sergeant and the kid, right?
There's a sergeant and the lady that swung at Atta but hit Cavern.
Okay.
The kid's like desperately trying to crawl away with Algernon going after him.
I think I'm gonna go up to the sergeant, seeing that he's got Cavern in a hair. Okay.
I will offer you a devil's bargain.
Ooh.
Ooh. Yeah.
You can have the bonus, but whatever happens, the watch will remember this and come back in greater numbers in the future.
Okay.
And you also have impulsive as a Wolfkin ability.
I'm just looking at my impulsive right now.
So you can spend your special ability to gain 2 dice when accepting a devil's bargain instead of 1.
All right, since it's going to affect the whole team, what does the team think?
We could move our head out.
What's the effect?
So it's so we're back to risky lesser because you're not you are now to be trifled with. So the Devil's Bargain can take you up to risky standard. It could give you an extra dice. Realistically, there are 2 segments left on the clock. So on a standard roll, a 4+ will complete the clock. On a lesser roll, a limited roll, you'd need a 6.
I reckon if we can put that sergeant out of action, it might be enough to put the clock forward. So
Agreed.
I think it's worth it. And narratively speaking, I mean, the Watch aren't going to forget this, right?
Okay, so you accepting the bargain?
I'm accepting the bargain.
Okay, so you get 2 upgrades to your roll. So currently, what are you skirmishing?
I'm skirmishing. I'm going for the sergeant, and as he's got Cavern in a headlock, I'm just going to growl in his ear, "I told you it was bedtime!" And then I'm going to headbutt him in the back of the head.
Okay, so you are at 2 dice, risky, limited, but you get 2 upgrades, so you can get extra dice or extra effects. So you could go 3 dice, risky standards. You could go 2 dice, risky greater. You could go 4 dice, risky lesser.
The effect is what will push the clock forward, essentially, right?
Yeah.
Shit.
I can give you an extra dice.
If anyone would like to help,
Yeah.
I
can hear you coming, and I can try my best to sort of maneuver him into your direction.
So does that affects the modifier,
That's
right?
just like another dice,
so
dice or another effect.
So that's
And
plus 3.
I can also help. I'll also give you something. If you want me to move the sword more closely towards you and you want to see if you can use the sword in your skirmish,
I worry about using the sword because I don't want to kill them. Killing them would be really
we
bad.
don't want ghosts.
Which is why we're going for like fisticuffs. I think so, and I can't do more than plus 3 die. So let's do 3 die on Cavern's help, and then do a greater effect with the Devil's Bargain. So that's risky great, right?
Risky greater 3 dice.
There
we go.
Okay. So in which case, as you kind of just appear at the sergeant's ear, and as you're like, bedtime, and the sergeant sort of like turns to look to you, and just as that happens, like Cavern, you manage to like you get a bit of like your arm's gone dead, right? But the great thing about dead arms is that they swing really well. So it's in this moment that you rear back and you manage to catch this sergeant right between the knackers. And as he like goes forward, Frida, your forehead connects with the bridge of his nose, and there's a sickening as you break his nose, and this sergeant goes sprawling, smacks his head against the wall, staggers back, and there's just like blood streaming down his face as he just like struggles to breathe as you flatten his nasal canal.
Oy.
That is like many segments. And as the sergeant kind of staggers away, and like his eyes are streaming, the kid that you're chasing, Algalon, like slowly gets up and sort of like grabs the sergeant, and they kind of scatter in different directions to get away from you. And you're left in the street outside the Spectre, like spattered in each other's blood, and like bits of snot, and you've successfully fought off the Watch.
Right. Time for a pint now, I think.
Definitely.
And I think on that note, we will go on a quick break and then finish off the rest of our downtime, because I think you all need it again. So, if you enjoyed that, make sure to hit the like button and comment down below on, because we're going to need it, comment down below on what the sergeant's name is going to be. Because I smell a recurring villain.
Sergeant Glass Eye.
Yeah. And if you want to see what that reprisal looks like, or what this crew get up to in the meantime, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon for notifications when we release new videos, because that happens very, 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 very frequently. We won't want you to miss out. So, thank you for playing. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in a bit.
Bye.
Hey!
Bye.